Good morning, and thank you, Adam, for giving the introduction. Before going into the case study, I just want to say that I work for Gloria Jeans Coffees. So you may not know, some of you may not know about Gloria Jeans Coffees. I just want to give you a quick overview of Gloria Jeans Coffees. So our vision at Gloria Jeans Coffees is the Gloria Jeans Coffees will be the most loved and respected coffee company worldwide. So that's our vision. And we work on values like partnership based on integrity and trust, a partnership with our franchise partner, with our supplier partners, with our guests. As we say, our customers are our guests. So we try to build partnership with these stakeholders. And the next one is commitment to excellence and innovation. We always try to innovate and try to provide excellent product to our guests. A culture of joy and passion. We always try to celebrate our achievements, so that's one of our values. And belief in people building and changing lives. So our organization has a business unit. It's called With Heart, and we are involved with a number of charity organizations in Australia and across the world. As per our business, coffee is our hero, obviously, and we serve food to complement coffee and tea. So just to give you an understanding that we always try to complement our coffee with food. Food supplied by our approved suppliers. We have some national suppliers and we have state-based suppliers. They supply our food items. And 100%, almost 100% franchise model. So we have only one corporate store, and we had few corporate stores, and we are just getting rid of that to make sure that this is 100% franchise model. So that's why the individual franchise partners are small business owner in their store. So, and we are present in 39 different countries across the world. So key highlights of this presentation is obviously, as Lisa mentioned, kilojoules at the point of sale. So how we did that, and the reference statement, the average daily energy intake is 8,700 kilojoules, how we implemented these two items. So obviously we had to involve our stakeholders and engage them in this process. So stakeholders being franchise partners, our supplier partners, and internal team members. So we'll talk about implementation strategy. Just quickly, we'll touch on how we implemented at Gloria Jeans Coffees and how we monitor progress and how we collected feedback from stakeholders, and obviously, as we have been requested, to provide some gaps and future opportunities where we can work together to make further improvement. So obviously communication to stakeholder was key. So being the franchise owners, we have got so many franchise partners in New South Wales and obviously in South Australia and ACT. So we had to communicate with them, engage them, align them with the process, and we had to collect kilojoules information from our supplier partners, and we had to create a database at the support office to make sure that we have got the correct kilojoule information for our stores. And obviously that has impacted our menu board configuration. The way we used to configure our menu board prior to the legislation had to be changed. And obviously we had to train, and as you know, many of our stores have teenagers and other team members. We had to train the in-store team member, our internal team members, and also our supplier partners to some extent to make sure that they provide the correct information to us so that we can introduce. Obviously, there has been cost implication, so we had to allocate cost. So when the legislation came through, we had to allocate cost for the menu board changes and so forth, and in terms of printing and displaying. So we have done that. So current status is continuously updating our database as we are menu board, as the food recipes are changing and the specification changing, we are collecting data from the supplier partners and updating our database. Obviously, once again, cost of menu board, so we had to continue to allocate cost for menu board configuration. So that's part of the deal. Marketing material campaign, that's another side that we had. Every time we produce a marketing campaign material, we have to include and comply with the legislation. So, and consumer education, as you know, that when the guests, customers come to our store, they ask a number of questions. So we had to train our team members to make sure that they provide the information. If they can't, then they contact support office. New South Wales Food Authority and New South Wales Health have been very helpful in terms of supporting our team members and also our support office as well. So we had to create 2 menu boards. We didn't implement nationally, so we have introduced as required for New South Wales, South Australia, and ACT now. So we have done that, and we have got a separate menu board for other states and territories. So critical factors and lesson learned. So obviously cost, as I mentioned, from the industry bodies, as you can understand, cost is one important area that we had to analyze food offerings to make sure that the correct information is provided. Graphic design, menu board, printing, and installation. In some cases, we had to take legal advice from our internal or external legal team. And training of the support team members, obviously cost involved. So for any future legislation, we need to keep this in our mind. These are the implications can happen. So consumer education and purchasing decisions. So still, as you would understand, some of the customers are still confused a little bit in terms of what is a kilojoule, what is a calorie, and how does calorie and kilojoules relate to each other, and how to calculate throughout the throughout the day's dietary intake. That's an important area. So not many people would be 100% sure how to do it. And relating dietary intake to Australian dietary guidelines, that's probably one important area. I'll touch on that in my next slides. So interpretation of guidelines by store team members, that's one important area. As I mentioned, that we have got some national suppliers and some local state-based suppliers. So when these state-based supplier partners supply products, so our store team members need to understand what is the standard food items and what is per serve and display of price and the name. Just all the guidelines we have provided, we have uploaded in our website. It's communicated clearly, but still it's for the store team members. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. So that's one of the lessons that we have learned. Now, in terms of, I'll probably touch on the gaps and opportunities. So, in terms of the gaps, flexibility needs to be built throughout regulatory impact analysis to ensure easier compliance. So, which has been done. New South Wales Food Authority and New South Wales Health have been very cooperative, very supportive. They tried to do that. But in future, a regulatory impact consideration should be taken while introducing any new legislation. So working together with the industry bodies, so a regulatory impact statement should come with the regulation so that it is clearer for the industry people. It has been done, but there is a gap. So more comprehensive education and consumers is required. So in terms of education, it is happening. It has been done, but probably, as I mentioned, that consumers will need to understand that how their daily intake and individual served intake relates to daily intake and how it is related to the Australian dietary guideline. So relating these three things, not all consumers are scientists, not all consumers understand all these kilojoules and calories yet. So we can probably provide, work together with the industry bodies and the government bodies together to make sure that more consumers understand the concept and why this is being, these things are being done. So that's probably one of the important area we need to look at. And collaboration and agreement required between states. That's one of the things that as a national organization and international organization, it makes it easier for us to implement throughout the country rather than state-based. So with the first choices legislation, still many other states, only New South Wales, ACT, and South Australia agreed and implemented, but the other states still didn't. So if we could have a national approach rather than state-based approach would be better. So in terms of opportunities, obviously, once again, this has been done, but alternative means of providing information to consumers and government and industry once again can work together to find out, to explore the opportunities where we can provide more information these days. For example, smartphones and other technology uses would be better opportunities. If we are targeting a younger generation or younger group between, say, 25 to 35 or 40 years old, then we should identify what would be the best opportunity to use technology to provide the information to the consumers. So that's important area we can look at. And preventative health messages for consumers. Consumers would need to understand how this daily exercise, daily intake, and daily sleeping, doing other activities throughout the day would relate. No, it's not one size fits all. So we are saying that 8,700, that's fine, but how an individual is doing their exercise, how they're sleeping, how they're doing activities, are they doing any physical activities or not? These are the things probably we can provide through the preventative health messages. And a national approach on preventative health initiatives by government. So one of the initiatives that's under AFGC, Health and Dialogue with QSR Forum. This is one of the initiatives that is underway, that is happening. Similar initiatives can be initiated between the government and industry bodies so that this can be implemented jointly through preventative action in terms of how we can educate, how we can change the behavioral pattern of the different stakeholders. That's probably important. I'm a member of the QSR Forum under AFGC, so some of this feedback in my presentation reflected perhaps from the other QSR industries. So as I attend the meetings, we have got feedback. So these are the feedback from the industry bodies. So we need to work together to make sure that how we can take the next step. If there is any new legislation coming up, so we need to consider these gaps and opportunities. Thank you very much.